My name is Ek Lok Tin Yong, and this is my website. I hope you are well, and we are going to talk about Feng Shui again. This is the 14th video. Melbourne is in lockdown, so every 2 to 3 days I post some video, hopefully to help you understand more about traditional Feng Shui. And in Feng Shui, there's many places there overlap, so you need to find out those overlap areas, see whether they have somewhere in common or not, and then find out what really happened to the occupant of the house. And they have many layers in Feng Shui. There's many layers. There's no one particular area that will create a lot of fantastic result. Like sometimes, like some client ask me, where is my money corner? Okay, where is my love corner? Actually, all these they are work like not just look at one place. It's the overall house, the whole house. Some client even ask me to Feng Shui just for the room. It's hard because the Feng Shui is just it's an overall. So you need to understand that. So be patient. I try to give you as much information as possible to look at a place. And if you find Feng Shui is difficult, then maybe you can engage a Feng Shui master near you to look at your place. So last video we talked about the back, which is in Cantonese called Yun Mo, or in English they have a translation of black turtles. So the black turtles, or the shape of the house, we use the early heaven bagua to look at the shape or look at the forms of a house. So if you're looking back to the previous video, we talk about the black turtles, the back of the house. So there are a few common scenario I should summarize up for this video, and then we're going to talk about the front of the house. So the back of the house we talk about, remember, is the solid, strong. So at the back we want support. So the most common scenario of a house is like, let's say, looking from sideways. Okay, so there's a house and there's maybe another house at the back. So that's the the first configuration. Got support, and that's very quiet. Like maybe at the backyard there's a fence. There's someone else's house. They're facing this way. You face this way. Quiet. Have some like garden bed, fence, or trees. So this is the best configuration. That's the best. Meaning you have support. This house, like if let's say someone lives in this house, they have support from that. And because this is very quiet, so they are calm. They're not making rush decision. So they will be doing well in this kind of configuration. And then secondly is they have support, and this here very active. Very active meaning maybe they have in the old time they maybe have a well at the backyard, but now we see more like swimming pool, like the pool here. So this part is solid, right? Support. And this part, there's water, or sometimes there will be a filter or a motor, water. So that is considered active. Remember we talk about water. Water is active. So in this configuration mean you have support. However, because this active, the back of the house. See, the back of the house is the head, right? So if it's active, sometimes it's easy to make no good decision. So That's the second scenario. Most of the time you see that, and then maybe you see swimming pool, right? Swimming pool there, and to the back is maybe it's a park, no support. So this is the third one. So this is really not really a good configuration. With the pool active, so easily make no so good decision, bad decision from time to time, and there's no support. So this house, the longer you stay in, the you feel harder, life, like work not advance well, very hard to advance. And then if there's no pool there, no swimming pool there, there's just land, fence, and that's let's say the park at the back. So no support, but this part is quiet. So this part is quiet means someone living here, they do not make bad decision, they will make good decision. So this form of configuration is good, it's okay. And then that's the fourth one. The fourth one is they're quiet here, but that is slammed down, or there's a swimming pool here. So swimming pool here, no support, right? Easily make bad decision. So this kind of form is no good. Is well, not the worst. The worst, I'll show you what's the worst. So this is the fourth, not so good. So ideally, if you don't find this kind of configuration, even you build a very tall, tall fence, the energy will still be activated when the time comes. Time meaning like the longer you live in the house, because the energy will shift to the back. So the longer you stay, you feel the harder in this house you experience. And the worst kind of configuration is this. We look at from the top. So let's say the house there's a swimming pool here, there's a laneway, and then there's maybe a couple of, there's a road, laneway, there's like fence, laneway here, and like the road hitting to the house. So this kind of configuration is very bad. So no support here, not making good decision, and then there's chi hitting to the house. So remember we said the back of the house is kidney, the back, right? The back, the kidney, the spinal. So could be injuries, sickness in this house. So that is a supplementary information to the previous video, which is about the black turtles. Now we are talking about the fun. The fun, they have another name. Let's say this house they're facing fun, and the fun. Remember the fun of the house. We use the early heaven bagua, which is the kun gua. Okay, so the fun is the kun gua. So kun gua is female. So kun gua is female. Female kun, it represents the mother. Or the wife, mother, the house, or the wife. So the fun part is we look at female. The fun part, female. So kun is also the tummy. So the tummy. So the tummy of the body, the leg, the legs, and because this part, the fun part, is called the red bird, right? If you remember before, I told you it's the red bird or some call it phoenix or bright hall, bright. Bright hall. These three terms is the same, just describe the front of the house. So the bright is related to the eyes. So bright is the eyes as well. So if some object or some like sickness mountain in the front, sickness mountain, we talked about sickness mountain before, but because these terms will come up, from time to time, and I just have to mention it again. So, or you can remember it better. So, if let's say a house and they have a sickness mountain in front, so they will affect the eyes, the eyesight, affect the tummy. So we say affect the fertility. So as I say, in the Feng Shui, they have many places they can be overlapped. So we have to rectify all those areas. The heart as well. So because it's the front, the Li Gua, also the eyes, the Li Gua, the heart, the blood. So the front represent this area and represent female. The other thing is the fun. See, the fun is the future. The front of the house here is also represent your future. So if you go out, from your house, coming out to, you see a very big Mingtan or big area or bright horse, that means your future is very bright. That's we call say bright. The children will be very good as well. The children have a good future. If let's say you standing in front of the door there and you can see quite far away and you can maybe see some mountain far away, and depends on which direction it faces. Let's say because each direction they have a different person related to it, right? So for example, my house is facing east. And if you remember, east is the Zhen Gua. It's the Zhen Gua. So Zhen Gua is the eldest son. So if you're facing out, and you can see quite far away, the bright horse Mingtan is good, and then further out, you can see mountain and a bigger area, bigger. We call it middle Mingtan. So inner Mingtan, middle Mingtan, and outer Mingtan. So if you can see the three Mingtan, then because it's facing east, the eldest son, Zhen Gua is the eldest son, right? The eldest son has a good future, bright future as well. And most probably because it's looking quite far away, he will be not working locally, maybe working somewhere else, because when you're looking out, the future is very bright. So actually, my son, my eldest son, he's not live in Melbourne here and he's working somewhere else. So he actually matched this Feng Shui configuration. So the fun is the future for the children. So the front of the house, the bright horse, you need to keep it very neat and tidy. No, those sickness mountain or no activation in the front. Activation means very big activation. However, if you have a water feature, but this water feature cannot be high, it has to be low, like in front of the door. Like when you open the door and you see the water feature there, it has to be low, like maybe around, like the tallest, it cannot over half a meter. Maybe you just make it, a little bit down to the ground and a little bit sticking out, maybe about 20, 30 centimeters above the ground, and the water should be flowed very gently. On the side, if it's okay to put water features, then the side one, you can leave it high a little bit, on the side, either on the dragon side or the tiger side. You can have a little bit higher, but in the middle, the water feature in the middle, always make sure they're not too high. If it's become high, then it's become a sickness mountain, so it's not good. So always remember this. And you can observe, when company or a building in front of, let's say, this configuration, face this way, a building, they have a very big sickness mountain. This will also symbolize the company in there will be easily taken over, or their project, like sickness mountains affect fertility. So on the other hand, the growth of the company is limited, and they most likely will go bankrupt or not good, or taken by someone else. The fun also represent the other than children, it also represent the guest. People come to see you because they come from the front, they not come from the back, so they come to see you from the front. So they will, it's your image to the outside world. So it will represent guests, also represent, if for a factory or company, it represent employees, the employees. So if there's a sickness mountain, then in that company, the employees come and go, they're not coming in a long term, so it's not stable. So that is the general principle of the bright hawk or red bird in front. Ideally, is we have a bigger frontage. So when you're going to look for a house, or when sometimes you go for a walk, you're looking at houses. If they set back a little, they have a bigger frontage. That's how generally we do it better, because they have a bigger mean time. So with the same principle, of the turtles, the back, there is also a few configuration, 4 or 5 common configuration. The common configuration is like the mean time is like spacious, yeah, and quiet, very gently, no sickness mountain, no activation. Then that means that when they move in this house, their work, their career, their wealth will getting better and better. Children getting better study results. And if they are spacious, they're spacious, but with sickness mountain, then will affect the health of the children in the house. Fertility might have issues. The female tummy, female's eyes, they would have issues. So if the mean time is small, let's say it's a bit smaller, no sickness mountain, and that's okay. It's quite okay, quite smooth. But if it's small and with sickness mountain very close to the door, then all sorts of issues will happen, like your career not going well, money not doing well, health of the wife, mother, not so good. So if for those who are looking for houses to live or looking for land to buy, don't buy in a very narrow one. If in Melbourne, some suburb is very good. Like if you live in Melbourne, you drive past or walk past like Toorak area or Camberwell, Hawthorn. Generally, most of the house they have a very big mean time. And if you ever visit like Burn Street or Colbert, some street, the mean time is very narrow, so you can compare the difference there. The meantime, also generally sometimes, you know, when some people look for house and they will look for say, okay, so they're looking on the high side, you know, there's a support, but the house, when they come out, they have to go down, you know, a few, you know, steps. When you open the door, come out to see a few steps. That is not so good as well. Particularly if inside the house, when you go in there and you see, you know, staircase, so staircase open to the door, and then the door have the staircase going down, so that will bring the qi out. In Feng Shui term, it's called, like, you know, the water come out from the middle, from the middle of the house or middle of the body, is called it like pulling the nose, or pulling the cow. You know, in the old time, the cow in China, they have a hook on the nose, and then they pull the cow that way. Or in a very colloquial term, it's called 屙尿水. 屙尿水 means like pissing, you know, pissing, the water is pissing out. So that is not very good configuration. So in this kind of house, maybe, you know, will help fertility, like if there's higher, more house on top, will help fertility, but the wealth side is not so good. What else? So maybe today we will stop here, and then we can always, you know, if I, you know, when I talk about the forms and I think of something suddenly come into my mind, and I will show you. But today we just leave it here, and hope you enjoy it. And if you like my video, you know, please give me a like, and you can also subscribe. Subscribe to the videos. Subscribe to the video, and or, you know, there's a bell, you know, you can and get notice when there's a new video going to my YouTube channel. So thank you for being here.